Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Five Star Joshi Show here on the Fight Game Media Network, as well as the YouTube channel. I am your host, as always, Scott E. And this week we have a nice short 5 star to discuss as we preview the 5 Star Grand Prix 2025 finals ahead of the finals on Saturday. We'll also take a look at the Tokyo Princess Cup final, Senjo the Biggest, and the Lone Dreamstar Grand Prix show this upcoming Friday. Just a big time preview show. Next week, we will be back to our normally scheduled 5 Star Joshi shows with the 5 Star Grand Prix coming to an end this Saturday. So look out for that. Very excited to get back into the swing of things as we've done all year long. So, with that being said, hello, everyone. If you're on the YouTube channel, thank you for joining me. I always want to make sure I get these podcasts out. I'm recording this one very late on a Thursday night. Um, long week, long time. Not because of tournament stuff. I think the tournaments have, cooled down a lot. We have one more 5 Star Grand Prix daily review over on the YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out yet, we have each and every day up over there. So I think if you haven't checked it out, you should go check it out. I've been really proud of all the content I've put together on there. Um, Daily reviews for each and every tournament show, with the latest being up there right now for you all to check out if you haven't already. Talking the incredible playoff show from the Cork and Hall show. You can see that right now, day 12 to be exact, and we'll have the final up on Saturday. So keep an eye out for that as well. That being said, let's get to our regularly scheduled program. Let's preview the final night of the 5 Star Grand Prix because we are there. We have arrived. Stardom has announced the card. So we'll talk about some of the major matches on the show. But here is your full card. Momo Yuri Hime will take on Lady C and Kyoko Kotatsu, as well as Emma Furusawa and, Kikyo Furusawa and Emma Maishima, as well as Susanaba and Fukigen Death. The opening match of the night will be a preview tag ahead of the upcoming World of Stardom Championship match between Bea Priestley and Saya Kamatani, which will take place on Stardom to the World on September 6th. It'll be Bea Priestley, Hanan, and Saida taking on Saya Kamatani, Natsuko Tora, and Ruaka. But we get to the most important matches from there, starting with the Future of Stardom Championship match. We saw this in the tournament. Rana Yagami got the win over Hina. Hina will now defend the championship against Rana Yagami for the second time in her reign. She originally defended the belt against Yagami back at, which queendom was it? Was it All Star? It might have been. It might have been All Star, but Hina's obviously been on an incredible Future of Stardom Championship run. Yes, it was All Star Grand Queendom 2025. So the first rematch of the title reign, and perhaps it could be Rana Yagami's day. That being said, I think it would be crazy. I think it would be crazy for Hina to lose right now. I think coming off her very first tournament, a big time win over Rana Yagami once again would be very strong. I think there are different avenues to go down when it comes to Hina eventually losing this championship, but I'm greatly looking forward to it. I mean, the Future Stardom title has been a real highlight the past couple of years between Rina and Hina, especially. They've been absolutely crushing it. I think Hina and Rana Yagami will have a very good match on this show, and it's a nice addition to the undercard of a show that's obviously focused around the finals. Also on the show, you have Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, Rian teaming up against Natsupoi, Aya Sakura, and Sayaka Karara. Mei Sarah will go into a three-way battle against Saki Kashima and Yuna Mizumori, so some sort of high-speed battle. Saki Kashima's first match in quite a long time. Su Suzuki will team up with Rina Yamashita and Akira Kuragane of Mi Vida Loca. They'll take on the team of Hazuki, Koguma, and Dark Silhouette from CMLL. We'll also be talking here about Starlight Kid and Miyu Amasaki taking on Ami Sareee and Tomoki Naba. If I had to guess, Tomoki Naba officially lays down the challenge for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. I expect that to be on Stardom to the World as well, and that's a match I'm highly looking forward to. But your semi-main event will be an IWGP Women's Championship match. Sareee defends the title for the first time since winning it back at Stardom, the conversion. She will look to get all of her wins back after her 5-star Grand Prix run. She will first face Konami. Konami was part of the reason Sareee fell to Momo Watanabe on the playoff edition of the 5-star Grand Prix. Konami also made Sareee go to sleep on the opening night of the 5-star Grand Prix. I expect Suzuki to look and try to get all of her wins. Did I say sorry? I might have said Suzuki because I expect Sareee to eventually face Suzuki. I expect her and Momo Watanabe to face off one more time in this title reign. Those are the blemishes on her record throughout her 5-star run. It all starts here with Konami. I loved what they brought in their first tournament match. It's obvious, I don't think Konami had to turn it on as much during the tournament. She was eliminated pretty early, but I've seen what Sareee is able to do. Obviously, you know how I feel about the Sun God at this stage of the game. I think they'll have a great match. But it's a nice addition to a card that, of course, is focused around 3 major matches, and that is a look at the 5-star finals. So if you didn't listen to the playoff episode, please go and check that out. That's my full review of the show, of the tournament. Just incredible. And it comes down to this. On the Red Stars side, battling to represent the Red Stars block, it'll be none other than Osmi or Rina. Both of them were in Red Stars B. And then on the other side, you have the Blue Stars block. It was Saori Anou and Momo Watanabe. So, what will this tournament come down to? On one side, you have Osmi, someone who many people have been wanting to get into this big shot years and years and years and years, right? This has been a conversation. This has been a hope by many that this would eventually happen. And then you have Rina, the upstart, the future of stardom, the future of Joshi. Well, the future's now, folks. Rina, in her very first tournament, makes it to the semifinals of this tournament. She started off her 5-star Grand Prix career at an incredible 4-0. 2 bumpy starts and a draw led her to a playoff match against Bea Priestley, your number 1 contender for the World of Stardom Championship. She defeated Bea Priestley. She then heads into a match with Natsupoi in the main event of the Korakuen Hall show and makes her tap out. It is undeniable that if Stardom wants to go all in on making a superstar, they have it here. I've said it many times. My favorite wrestler in all of Stardom is none other than Rina. She is the one. She is a superstar. She has been the MVP of this tournament. She has stepped up. She's had some of the best matches time and time and time again. I have no doubt that her and Osmi are going to tear it down and open the show. And that's why I'm predicting on Saturday night, Rina will defeat Osmi and make it to the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix. Doing so, she will join only Toni Storm and Konami as the 2 wrestlers in history to make the Cinderella and 5-star Grand Prix finals in the same year. Of course, Toni Storm won both of hers and Konami lost both of hers. Will Rina follow the same route as Konami, or could she tie it up? Now, I'll say this. When I preview what I expect to be the final, I don't think Rina winning this tournament is anywhere out of the question. I actually think it's quite possible. But on the Blue Star side, you have Saori Anou, the former 2-time Wonder of Stardom champion. You have someone in Saori Anou that has continuously been at the top of the card in Stardom. And for many months, people have wondered, when will she step up to the World of Stardom championship picture. Now you have to remember, Sareee was coming off a loss for the Wonder of Stardom championship right before the 5-star Grand Prix. I think for some that put her down the list of potential winners. For others, people believe that was just the continuation of her story, coming up short, losing, being so close, but being so far away. Well, now she steps into the semifinal with a very strong tournament behind her back, and she is stepping into a match with none other than Momo Watanabe. Momo Watanabe, out of all these wrestlers, I said it with Azumi, someone that people have long thought deserved to be in a spot like this. Well, you want to talk about someone that people have long thought that they deserve to be in a spot like this. It doesn't beat Momo Watanabe. Momo Watanabe has been there. She's done that. She's been to the 5-star Grand Prix final. She could be one of very few to make 2 5-star Grand Prix finals. The last being Micah, of course, who made it back-to-back years, including winning last year. Momo Watanabe was part of the greatest 5-star Grand Prix final match of all time when she lost to Shuri in 2021. Momo Watanabe has went out of her way to do everything she can to get to this spot. I've talked about it many times. The potential of her winning this tournament and challenging Saya Kamatani is a fascinating one. I'd argue it is the best story there is out of the remaining 4 wrestlers. I don't even think it's up for debate. It is the best story out of the 4 remaining wrestlers when it comes to the World of Stardom Championship. But will they go with Momo Watanabe? I look at the potential of a Momo Oz final, Momo versus Azumi. I think that's the final that many, many, many people want. And I don't think that's the final we're going to get. I think Sareee is winning this match. I think Sareee is going to the 5-star Grand Prix final. And with that, I predict it will be Rina versus Sareee in the 5-star Grand Prix 2025 final. There's 2 different ways to go here. Do you continue the story of Saya Kamatani versus Cosmic Angel? We've seen it all year. 2 matches against Tam this year alone. Sayaka Carrara, Natsupoi. That's been the overarching story. That's been the story. That the reason of that story is the one we have asked ourselves many times. When, not if, when will Saori challenge the Phoenix Queen herself? When will she challenge Saya Kamatani? When will she step up? I think going into the final night of this tournament, Saori is the favorite. And I'd argue the heavy favorite in terms of expectations of where people think she lands. But on the other side is someone in Rina that I have said throughout this entire time. I said it in the previews. The Cinderella winner, Sayaka Carrara, challenged for the World of Stardom Championship this year, breaking the long-time trend of the winner challenging for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. I think that's important. Perhaps Stardom is looking to break the mold of that. Sayaka Carrara challenging for the World of Stardom Championship was the first time since 2017 that had happened. 2017. So to take you to the 5-star Grand Prix history. The Wonder Stardom championship, I should say, has been challenged for before in this spot. The last time someone challenged for the Wonder Stardom Championship was 2018 when Mayu Iwatani defeated Tami Ashishita and faced Momo Watanabe for the belt. Ever since, it's been the World of Stardom Championship. So why think now they would stop trying to throw you off the scent? I've said it since the moment she had her match with Starlight Kid earlier this year. There is not a person on this planet I would have beat Starlight Kid other than Rina. And we now present an incredible opportunity for Rina to not only win the 5-star Grand Prix, become an absolute superstar in the making, but also go to her next step and follow in the footsteps of one Hana Kimura, of course, a former 5-star Grand Prix winner in her own right. I think the both possibilities are on the table. I think Saori winning and challenging Saya Kamatani at whatever show it may be is on the table. And I think Rina challenging for the Wonder Stardom Championship against Starlight Kid is also comfortably on the table. That is my predicted final. And I don't care if I'm going against the grind here. I don't care if I'm going against the expected favorite. I'm picking Rina. I'm picking Rina because we've gone against it. Sayaka Crowers was the Cinderella winner this year. Sareee, for many people, feels like the favorite heading into this show. Rina came up short, just came up short in the Cinderella tournament. She has shocked many, many, many along the way. Why not have her win? Why not have her challenge for the Wonder of Stardom Championship at Stardom Dream Queendom? This is the time you bring that back. You go all the way. You wait all that time because Rina should be getting her moment in the biggest spot possible. She's ready for the moment. She's capable of the moment. You can have Sareee face Saya Kamatani somewhere down the line. That's not difficult. But having Rina win this tournament, you make a superstar. You make your next signature star. I'm going all the way. I'm picking Rina. That's the best choice. We will see on Saturday. I can't wait. Check out the review. youtube.com/@ScottEWrestling will be my review for just the tournament matches. We will have the full review of the entire show up on the 5-Star Joshi Show next week. So if you want to hear my thoughts on the IWGP title match, the Future of Stardom title match, that will be all on the recording next week. But if you are looking for the 3 tournament matches, that will be reviewed on Saturday, as well as the official MVP, the official match of the tournament, and so on and so forth. But I can't wait for the 5-star finals. I'm very excited for the 5-star finals, and I will see you all on Saturday when we celebrate the 5-star final. Next up, speaking of finals, the Tokyo Princess Cup also heads to their final on Saturday at Korakuen Hall, the first Korakuen Hall show for TJPW since February. They held their semifinals this week. It was Yuki Arai versus Risu Endo, Mayu Watanabe versus Shoko Nakajima. On one side, you had Arisa Endo defeating Yuki Arai in one of the biggest and most exciting upsets TJPW has ever done. I am not even kidding. The willingness to go with Inarisu Endo is something that I think for many years TJPW didn't have the willingness to do. And honestly, despite her being former Princess of Princess Champion, I think the willingness to not go back to a pillar here and rather go with Mayu Watanabe in the final as well is a credit to what TJPW is doing. They're presenting the future, the present and the future within the likes of these two. Arisu Endo versus Yuki Arai was a solid fought match. It was a lot of Yuki Arai being on the offensive, right? Yuki Arai is coming fresh off her Princess of Princess Championship match. Why should she not be in control? Why should she not be the dominant one? But the scrappy underdog Arisu Endo, who is my favorite TJPW wrestler, was able to fight through. And not only fight through, but shock everyone and securing her ticket to the finals of the Tokyo Princess Cup. A stunner, a true stunner, and a solid match along the way. On the other side, you had Mayu Watanabe versus Shoko Nakajima, a match that we've seen before this year alone, right? When they went to Texas, they held that match and it was great. Well, this one was very, very, very good as well. I think many people have said their TJPW match of the year. The intricacies and the simpleness of their style And what they went for here was that of a major main event. This was Shoko Nakajima, I think, at the absolute top of her game. This was Miyu Watanabe undeniably at the top of her game. You combine those, you put those together, and you get a great match out of it. You get a match that is full of stakes, fitting of the stakes, and reminds you what TJPW can do at its very best. Miyu Watanabe defeating Shoko Nakajima. Another shock for me. I thought they would go with Shoko, but I'm so happy they didn't. Miyu Watanabe getting the win, securing her second ever Tokyo Princess Cup final. The same woman that lost the championship to Mizuki now steps in to Korakuen Hall in one of the most exciting Tokyo Princess Cup finals ever. You look at Miyu Watanabe, you look at Arisu Endo, you think of the potential of what this match can do. You think of the potential of what Miyu Watanabe can do leading the way with someone like an Arisu Endo who is so incredibly talented, so incredibly gifted, and has been since her rookie year. This is one of those prospects that TJPW found and pushed in a very slow manner, but in a manner that has brought her to this point. Traditional TJPW says Miyu Watanabe wins. And that's probably the case. But much like I just said with my Stardom preview, why not embrace the future in the biggest tournament you have? Why not go one step further and believe in someone like an Arisu Endo, who has shown time and time again how capable, how talented of a wrestler she is, and how she can lead you into the next step. I think we've gone to the point where trying new things is not something that's bad in Joshi, but something that's welcome. And TJPW, even going with this final, feels like them trying something new. I don't think Arisu Endo truly will win. I don't, because I don't have the believability that they would be willing to do that. But I am not going to pick against her because she's the one I want to see win. Miyu Watanabe is incredible. Miyu versus Mizuki, a Wrestle Princess in the big rematch, is a very fitting match. Probably the match. But Arisu Endo winning would be absolutely stellar. I'm looking forward to this final. This is my most anticipated TJPW match all year long, and it's not even a competition. I cannot wait for this one. Check it out, Wrestle Universe, this Saturday. Should be a hoot. Just a reminder, Seedling is holding their 10th anniversary show on Friday, Korakuen Hall show. You have some of the key stars in the history of the company of Sareee, Takumi Aroha, Veni, and Ryo Mizunami teaming up to case Gisa Nozaki, Miyuki Takase, Rina Yamashita, and Amazon. And then your main event, you'll have Makoto defending the Seedling Beyond the Sea Championship for the very first time against Hiroyo Matsumoto. This Sunday, the big time shows, the big time matches don't stop. This Sunday, Sendai Girls presents Senjo the Biggest in Sendai, their second biggest show of the year, only after the show earlier this year, the top of Joshi Wrestling. This show is a loaded one. It's an exciting one. It's exactly what you want to see from the world of Sendai Girls. You have Aya Sakura defending the Sendai Girls Junior Championship against Yuna for the third time. I think this is the time that Yuna finally gets the win. Gets the win in the big arena. Aya Sakura falls victim to the Sendai Girls young junior wrestler. You also have Chi-Chi teaming up against Spike, or teaming up with Spike, to take on Manami and Sadie Gibbs. Stardom's Starlight Kid and Natsupoi team up. They'll take on Yurika Oka and Unagi Sayaka. You also have a men's match. We're not going to preview the men's match, but that is Shinsei Shizaki shuts out. You also have a battle royal or tag match of some sort. I don't really know what this is. That features folks. Yeah. But let's talk about the big three. We're here about the big three. We'll talk about the hardcore tag team match. Hazuki teams with Arisa Sarah to take on Dash, Sasako, and Aja Kong. What an insane reality that is. What an insane match that is. But what an incredible that match that will be. I think Dash and Aja got that one covered. I'd be shocked if they lost, but hey, I am happy Hazuki has something big over the weekend. I think she's going to have an absolute hell of a showing in this match. I think it could be the match of the night. But speaking of matches that could be the match of the night, you have Sareee following her 5-star Grand Prix title, or sorry, 5-star Grand Prix run following her IWGP Women's title defense on Saturday. She will then step into the Sendai Girls ring once again, and she'll go one-on-one with Mika Iwata, a match that we've seen before, a match that's been fantastic before, and a match I expect to be fantastic all over again. The Sun God will take care of business as she often does, but this match will be well worth your time. Senjo the Biggest, always bringing the absolute biggest to the ring. This is going to be well worth it. Then your main event of the evening, former Sendai Girls Tag Team Champions Venny and Lana Cross team back up, and they'll take on Team 200 kilograms in your main event. You and Chihiro Hashimoto on their final run as a duo before you retires at the end of the year. There's no doubt that these two not only can have an incredible, or these two teams can have an incredible match. They will. They will have an incredible match. Lana Cross has been one of the best finds we've seen out of Sendai Girls quite ever. Her and Venny make up a formidable team that have showcased greatness before. And to put them back together, to keep them back together for the big Sendai main event is very exciting. I think this show has all the makings to be one of the most fun, enjoyable shows of the year. And this main event will be a big part of that. I think the hardcore match hits. I think the big time Sareee Iwata singles hits. This match, however, has the chance to put it over the top as one of the absolute best. I cannot wait for this match. I expect Team 200 kilograms to get the win, because of course I expect them to get the win, but it should be a ton of fun when we get there. Now, just quickly going over the Marigold stuff for this upcoming week, and then we will get out of here. Always a fun aspect of this is we still have the Dreamstar Grand Prix going on, but we have something even bigger here on Friday night, which I'm very excited for. By the time this comes out, the show will already have happened, but it doesn't air until this weekend, so it's okay to still talk about it. Mayu Iwatani returned to her hometown this week and got to be a police chief for a day and a hometown ambassador in her hometown of Mine, which is very, very cool. Always just want to celebrate when Mayu gets to do these little things. I think it's always truly something. She very clearly has a lot of fun. There was a great video of her doing something with the kids of Mine and doing them with in the town. So if you haven't checked out that video, it's a nice heartwarming video. So shout out to my icon, shout out to the greatest of all time for getting to do that this week. I just wanted to shout out this match. I did a Dreamstar daily review for day 5 and 6 combined. But I think this match deserves more love than it's probably gotten. I think Utami Hayashishita is having a fantastic tournament, quite frankly. I think that Takumi match has set Utami on a really great pace. If you watch her match with Mia Momono from the Marvelous tournament, that's still like that. However long that match was my favorite probably of the entire month. Just that part. And she's had some really good tournament matches since then, and this was really, really good. First time she faces Sareee Yamaoka kind of now trying to overcome Utami. That is her story now moving forward. She's been able to beat Mayu, but overcoming Utami, that's asking for a lot more, and I think that's a great story to tell. That is the mountain she must climb as the super rookie, is the former super rookie. It's a very simple story and a very good story. And Yamaoka coming up short, back to back matches against Yuzuki, and now Utami creates an interesting aspect for her going through this tournament to see how she does. Obviously, I think for many, they wondered, would Yamaoka be in the conversation come that final night, and I think that a potential run could be had here moving forward. But I really enjoyed this match. Yamaoka has been my MVP of the Dream Star to this point. Now let's talk about the tournament matches on Friday. First up, Utami and Maria will be facing off. That was originally supposed to be Senka Katsuki. Of course, Senka out of the tournament. I don't have the graphic. They usually don't post it till the match actually happens, because the old ones with Senka obviously had to be changed. So I don't have that graphic, but I'm actually expecting quite the fun match between those two. Maria had a really good showing against Rhea Seto last weekend, and I think if she can carry that into a match against the world champion, we can see something really, really good here. And then we see Koki Amari against the undefeated Victoria Yuzuki. Victoria Yuzuki has had one heck of a tournament, with wins over Utami Hayashishita, Sareee Yamaoka being the signature ones. Now she steps in the ring with a Koki Amari who I think is looking to get her confidence back. A match against Victoria Yuzuki will be a fascinating one for her. And one that I could see her win and get, maybe her biggest win of the entire tournament by taking down Yuzuki for the first time. Yuzuki has been going with all the confidence in the world, and I think maybe, just maybe, this could be the match where an upset occurs with Koki getting the win. But Yuzuki has just been absolutely wonderful throughout this tournament. I think she has the inside track probably to being the MVP, quite frankly. But we will see. But both matches are from the Dream League. But the big match that I wanted to talk about here real quick happens in the main event. Chika Goto returns home for her homecoming match, and she gets the match she's been asking for months now. She will go one-on-one with Mayu Iwatani for the first time ever. When the Dream Star blocks were announced, I was originally sad. I said, damn. I was really hoping we get this singles match. That wasn't the case. Now, it's okay because it's happening. And, Mayu has made this part of the fun for her. She's continuing to say, oh, you got to do this. Oh, you got to qualify for the Superfly. Oh, you got to do this. Well, hometown, Go Chika, worked her tail off over the past year or so to get to a incredible point. And now it's all worth it. For many, the tournament is that. But for Go Chika in her hometown, she faces the icon in the biggest match of her career. Yes, she's challenged for titles. Yes, she's done all this. There's no bigger match she's wrestled than this one right here. A hometown match against the icon, against the greatest of all time. That's what it's all about. This is as exciting of a match as there can be. It's a match that I am highly looking forward to. It's a match I can't wait to review. I'm going to put it on the daily review this weekend because I want to. I just want to break it down and talk about it. So please check that out. We'll also talk about it next week, as well. We'll talk about the full show. But I just wanted to give highlight to this match because I think it's going to be really, really special. I really do. I think Mayu is going to give Go Chika everything she can midway through this tournament because this is Go Chika's biggest match. And I think that's what's so special. But with that all being said, that was it for the 5-Star Joshi Show this week. Like I said, it's going to be short. A lot of previews, just previews. You've been checking out the Dream Star stuff. Go check that out if you haven't. If you've been checking out the 5-Star stuff, please go check that out if you haven't. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll be back right here on the YouTube channel with daily reviews. And then the 5-Star Joshi Show will be back in full force starting next week. We will be reviewing the 5-Star Grand Prix final. We'll be reviewing the Tokyo Princess Cup final. We'll be reviewing and previewing the upcoming Korakuen from Marigold. There's so much coming up. We'll also be reviewing the Forbidden Door matches. Bozilla heads there to represent Stardom. But as you can tell, as you can hear, there's so much coming up. The 5-Star Joshi Show, I promise, if you are a weekly listener, will be back to its top quality. I have a lot of stuff I'm working on right now to bolster the show as well. So thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for the continued support, and we will keep on rocking on. But that's it for me. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for continuing to support the podcast. Thank you for continuing to support me. Until next time, so long, everyone. Enjoy the incredible weekend of Joshi.